Always remember, never forget. Always remember, never forget. Your way high, 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 your way high.
It's hugely important for me to have this conversation, and so I keep pushing, I keep pushing myself, and I keep learning, and I appreciate you just hanging in there with me as I learn. I am really trying not to be so boring, really trying to just engage with you deeper, to love sharing meaningful moments with you. I love getting to share these stories with you because it's what's on my heart, and I'm pushing through my boundaries to try to do that authentically in a way that's not boring, that's not hypey, that's not dramatic, but is engaging with you and meaningful. What I want to talk to you about today is the idea of remembered and remembering, and why that word in particular resonates so deeply for me, and I hope resonates so deeply for you. English language is a kind of a flat, single dimensional language in that it doesn't often speak to the many ways language is used in the same way that indigenous language is used. And in trying to do that, you know, share that reality with you, it's really important that I have some kind of way of sharing it with you. That's not just talking, but an experience. So in Remembered, I'm hoping to do that with you. I'm hoping to include and build language with you that has depth and meaning. So I focused around the word remembered because it has so many ways that we can grow language together. When I'm talking about remembered, I'm not only talking about recalling in our own minds a memory that we have of these women, but in the way that story and the way that language helps us to recall that up. What I'm trying to do is reconnect you with someone that you love, that you remember, that you hold dear, and the way, and calling up your memory of her as well, so that these two women, you know, we're holding them up in a way that's very close to our hearts. And in doing that, we're pulling spiritual energy, healing energy around our lives. So this woman that we're holding in our minds, that we're offering prayers and energy to, that we're hoping that there's healing there for her, either in finding her or in healing her story. But there's also healing whoever we're holding up in our own memory, and healing with her as we remember all of these women and as we remember together. So we're gathering energy, we're gathering spiritual energy as we hold memories of these moments, these beautiful moments, and we see her smile, we see her laugh, we remember these moments of caring and love together. It's a very powerful thing, and it's not just it's not one-dimensional. It's not meant to be only for this woman, although it definitely is, and it's meant to be for all of us. The other thing that, you know, I'm saying in there without directly saying it is that I want their lives, and I know that spiritually, you know, intuitively, part of my work is to not only share their stories and to honor their stories by sharing them, but also to add meaning to them, you know, for it to mean something to us, to have relevance today for us. And the way that I am able to do that is to share the story so that it can be seen and heard and honored, but also because their story often reflects parts of our lives. So their story often mirrors parts of our lives where we have been unwilling to to see ourselves. It's very haunting for me to look at Alberta and hear her story, because her story reflects my own in so many ways in that time. When I was younger and did some risky things about, going to parties or places without checking in with other people. And as simple as that is, it's a story that we all, I think, can relate to. And we're all fortunate today. If you're watching this video, we're fortunate today to be alive and have lived through some of those experiences. Remembering also is about, those places for the families, and remembering both the good and the bad of all of it. And what I see is so much for these families, they carry so much guilt and shame for the things that they would have liked to have been different. And remembering gives them the opportunity for it to be different, and for them to remember something both positive and healing, and to be present in a way to their pain that they with all of us, and to know that we're present with them. So that's also part of the healing that happens for these families and communities as they hear our comments, they hear our stories. Maybe some of that, I don't know that we can take away some of that guilt, but maybe there's a way to move through it with them, and know that we all, I feel that we all have some part in their stories as well, and that we're making meaning through their stories and with them, and in sharing, walking this journey with them. So I'm going to say that much about remembered and remembering, and hope that you will hang in there with us, to walk this journey with us as well, as we explore these stories and explore their meaning in our lives, and in our communities, and as they play out and add more dimension and more meaning as we unfold these stories. Blessings to you and to yours. Thank you again for your patience. Thank you for hanging in with us, and we'll see you next time. What are you doing?
Always remember, never forget. Always remember,